Hey guys, welcome back to the Shiroberry channel. Today, we're talking about genres again, okay? We've made one other video about genres. I think it's because I just love these sort of categorizations. I love categorizing things in this sort of way. I don't think all categories are created equal. Some I end up liking a lot more than others. So for this video, I decided to look through all of my anime list for every tag that I could find. That includes genres, demographics, and general themes. Some of the themes feel more like genres than the actual genres do. For instance, a genre is gourmet, while themes have stuff like isekai. I think of isekai, I think of genre. So I decided to include all of them, just do a fell swoop, and so we have 72 or 74, I don't know, I'll put it on screen for sure. Different genres to cover today. So this is going to be a ranking style video, a sort of tier list. Instead of an S to F, I decided to go with something kind of weird. I'm having a baseline, something that I'm neutral about, and then I'm doing plus and minus 2. Plus and minus 1 and 2, if that makes sense. I am basing this kind of off of two factors: what I'm looking for when deciding to watch a new anime, and also the history of where their peaks can be, if that makes sense. Let's just get into it, okay? Without further ado, come on now. Our first genre is action. Action anime is pretty basic. I don't think there's much to talk about here. When I think of an action anime, it's usually something that will engage me, something that will keep the energy high, but it's also kind of a cheat code, and I think that some anime can lean on that. But I think for a general ranking, it's definitely a +1. It's kind of the white bread. It's good. It's a good classic. It's not going anywhere, and it's just used in everything pretty much. And I'm not complaining at all, but it's not something that really drives me to watching an anime just because it's action. Next is adventure. Adventure anime is always fun because I feel like the world kind of becomes its own character, and it also just literally has built-in world character or world building. So it ends up working really well, and it's usually something that when I see in the tags, it will draw me a bit more to the show than like action will, for instance, because I know that the world will play a bit more of a role in it. I don't think it's going to be in a +2, but I'm going to put it above action in that case. Avant-garde. This is just something I love in anime. I'm just going to put it in +2 for now. With the amount of anime that I've seen in my life, I beg for anime that sort of break the mold and aren't afraid to do some weird ass shit. Like what comes to mind for me right now is Angel Egg. Angel Egg is this beautiful art style, leans so heavily into these like dulled gold colors with white and gray and these like pale blues. Creates such an atmosphere, such a feeling that is so palpable, and it's all due to like sort of throwing away everything that you expect from an anime, I guess. Let me see what my anime list counts as avant-garde. Okay, they would count Evangelion, Devilman, Fooly Cooly, Perfect Blue. Okay, see, like all of these are 10s that I have. These sort of like artful anime, like I love when things do this. I absolutely love it. Don't look at my score for Sunny Boy. Don't do that. No. All right, next. Award-winning. But before award-winning, look at my sub count right now. I have, as of filming this right now, 307 subscribers. You look down at the sub count. You tell me where it's at right now. Let's double it. Hit the subscribe button. It's so free. It is so free. All right, let's get back into it. Award-winning. Award-winning is another positive one for sure. It's definitely going to be in one of these two. I'm actually unsure where I would put it. Again, I'm actually going to look back over here and see which ones count as award-winning. See, this is kind of what I thought. Like Jujutsu Kaisen, there's no reason that should win any awards. This doesn't actually pay that much of credence for me as like an anime's quality. They're not really giving it to the things that I feel like deserve it, if that makes sense. It's kind of just like awarding the things that have gotten popular. I'm looking at Demon Slayer, Jujutsu Kaisen, Your Name. I like Your Name. I don't like Jujutsu Kaisen. I haven't watched Demon Slayer. But do you see how these are all like kind of safe bets? While I do think award-winning is definitely a positive thing, it's closer to positive than a neutral. It's going to be at the end here of this list. All right, next is Boys Love. You guys know me. I mean, look, I got the fucking gay flag right there. I mean, a variation of it. Yeah, this is gonna be a +2. There's definitely a lot of mid-looking anime that I end up watching just because it has this tag on it. Just a super easy +2 for me. I still think avant-garde is probably higher just because I feel like if you want to push the boundaries of art, I guess, it's gonna tend to be a little bit better than something that has the potential to play it a little bit more safe. Yeah, next is comedy. Oh my god, I just threw up in my mouth thinking about it. Comedy is... Comedy's a -1 or a -2. Okay, I'm gonna say this. If your anime leans more into the comedy side, it is a -2. If it is just like a side tag for an anime that is otherwise really good, it's a -1. Because I'm sort of distilling it into the purest form, I'm gonna go -2 on this one. What I've realized over time and watching pieces of media from languages and cultures that I am not like growing up around is it's just hard to translate. I don't know if that's completely it, but the humor that ends up a little bit more childish and slapstick is what I end up laughing at more at anime. But even then, it's pretty difficult to get me into like a comedy anime. It just doesn't work. I mean, you can insert any clip from a past video where I'm talking shit on comedy anime, but yeah. This plot is it's comedy. So anime, comedy. It's an anime comedy. Bit of an oxymoron if you ask me. Comedy anime, especially ones like this, usually fall under a certain couple of categories. For this one, it is like booby comedy. And by that I mean it's like, oh look, a child, haha, no booby. But we still gonna sexualize it though. And then it's like, haha, biggie mommy, biggie moop. Biggie mommy, biggie milky, yummy. Next is drama. Drama is commonly the genre that I say is actually my favorite. I'm gonna put it above everything else right now. I think what anime does best is make you feel shit. Whether that's sadness, happiness, just drama, bro. It's drama. You know, after looking at the anime that avant-garde counts, it is actually kind of close. I definitely think that these are my top 2. We'll see how the rest of the list go, but I love drama. Next, fantasy. Me, like, searching for a fantasy anime that I actually want to watch is like a lactose intolerant person going into like the Ben & Jerry's store. It just doesn't work. It's a hard fucking sell. It's also, I would say it's also below comedy. Fantasy, there's a lot of good anime that does fantasy, but there's equal, if not more, probably more, that just becomes so redundant and like a 3 out of 10. It is such like a 3 out of 10 anime genre. I think of that one Paladin anime that I can't even remember the name of. I think of Beach Boy Riverside or whatever that anime was, the endless isekai that we get flooded with every season. And then there's like those few standouts like Mushoku Tensei, like ReZero, or like Frieren and Dungeon Meshi, but I haven't got around to watching those yet. I will watch those, both of them. But yeah, next is Girls Love. So here's something that I don't think a lot of people really realize. This is probably going to be a hot take too. I don't really like Girls Love. I'm gonna put it in -1. Let me explain why. I am queer, you know, so I appreciate the queer stories. I appreciate that representation, and I think that very few anime sort of reach that. I see girl love anime as sort of like for the male gaze in a lot of senses. Okay, so I didn't really get my point across the way that I wanted to in the original recording, so I'm just doing a voiceover really quick, the Shiro Very dub real quick, or the sub, I guess, for the anime people at home. And my name's Dom, so it's the Dom's sub. Anyways, I don't relate with these things as much as the other sort of queer stuff. And I also just haven't had like a lot of experience with the same anime that most people do with Girls Love as well. I just haven't seen a lot of it. But what I have, it's like, you know, it's not really for queer people. It feels like it's for straight boys who are a little bit crazy, a little bit kooky. Okay, bye. Shout out lesbians though. Let's go next. Gourmet is a weird genre. We'll get a couple of weird genres here for sure. Gourmet, I don't think I've seen a single gourmet anime. Yeah, I'm gonna be frank, I don't think I've seen a single one. This is one that I don't think I have an opinion on, but that's nice because now we have the full fucking list filled out. I'm not really like a food and anime type of fetishist like a lot of people are. I don't really care that much. I think that like it's beautiful in the same way that like almost anything else in like high quality anime is beautiful. But the Mushoku Tensei bread, Yucky, yucky, yucky. Ooh, yucky. Next one is horror. Horror anime is something that I really want to be good, and I keep coming back as if it's going to get good, and I've still yet to find something that really speaks to me. We'll talk about horror a little bit more later on when I talk about a different genre. For now, I'm going to put this in a -1, and we will come back to it, touch on it a little bit later. Next is mystery. This is going to sound kind of weird, but I think mystery is like an essential genre. So yeah, I like it, but I feel like I should be expecting it from almost any anime. You should be building some sort of mystery. Ones that revolve around mystery are also something that I absolutely love, but to me it just feels like an essential part of an anime basically. So I'm going to put it at the end of +2. There's another one we'll talk about a little bit later that you'll see. There's a bunch that like connect to each other, so I'll talk more about how they connect and my opinions on the two as we go on. Next, romance. Romance is a classic. Is it a +1 or a +2? I'll put it at the top of +1. Yeah, that's fair. I don't have much to say about this. It's just like an overarching theme. It's kind of, I don't think as a genre can carry alone. There's a lot of shitty romance anime out there, and there's a lot of fantastic romance out there. It all depends on your characters. It's very much like a character-driven genre. Sci-fi. Another hot take. Fantasy and sci-fi are two genres I don't really care that much about. I almost always prefer the setting to be something familiar, something in the real life. I don't know why that is, but if it's in a fantasy world or a sci-fi world, I feel like there's an extra level of disconnect for me. But I still like it probably more than fantasy. See, okay, here's the problem. I'm thinking about Pluto right now. Pluto's a sci-fi that I really liked, so I'm tempted to put it in +1, but I don't think so. Let's go. Yeah, let's go. Okay, slice of life. This is an anime I think gets a lot of like disrespect, sort of seen as like the boring anime. I think I had a conversation literally today where someone asked, is there even any good slice of life anime? Absolutely, absolutely. Blue Period. Is Izuken a slice of life? Oh god, this is actually proving my point so wrong right now. Surely there's some slice of life I like. Hold on. Oh no. Okay. As I'm looking at that, I sort of realize something. It is another thing that depends so heavily on the setting and the characters and the way they interact with each other. It is not a genre that I feel like I don't know how many slice of life fans are there out there. I definitely wouldn't say I'm a hater or a fan, so I'm gonna go in the middle. But I'm gonna go above the other one, Gourmet. Yeah, I honestly, like, going into this, I thought I was gonna rank it higher, but then I sat there, I was like, do I like any slice of lives? Yeah. There's plenty of slice of lives, but I think that it definitely depends on everything else that's associated with it. But when you're in a mood for a slice of life anime and you find like the perfect one, that shit hits so hard. It is such a nice feeling, a nice anime to sort of get lost in. Oh, Super Cub. I gave it a 4 though. Sports anime. Sports anime is kind of an action that is forcibly set into the real world because, usually it deals with, actual sports in the real world. And I think that it builds this sort of tension while also keeping it sort of lighthearted. There's not a lot of like heavy stakes besides their want and their drive to get better, to perform as best as they can. There are definitely ones where the stakes feel a lot higher, something like Blue Lock, of course, or like something like Ping Pong, where it feels like this is people measuring their life's worth against each other almost. But I definitely think this is a super dynamic and interesting genre. I'm gonna put it above the other action. Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, I think so. Okay, next is Supernatural. I'm not gonna waste too much time here. I just don't care. It is such a middle of the road. It's probably still higher than gourmet just because I just have no expectations for gourmet. I do want to see if there are any supernatural anime that I really, oh, okay. Okay, these are all anime I really like. Shit, these are all anime I fucking love. No, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it there. Because there's not much, like, I'm not seeking out supernatural anime. It just so happens that it lends itself pretty well to the, the nature of anime and the really good ones like Death Note, Death Parade, Mob Psycho, Ghibli, Your Name, Future Diary, which I love and not a lot of other people do. But yeah, I'm gonna keep it there. Let me know if you're a fucking supernatural fan in the comments. Oh, I forget that that's a show. Let me know if you're that kind of fan too. Suspense. So this is the one that I was going to talk about with comparisons to horror. I don't think anime does horror super well, but I think it does suspense incredibly well. I think that suspense is something that when I see in the tags, I get a lot more hopeful than comparing it to horror. When I think horror, I think monsters, I think jump scares, and I think that anime doesn't do that very well. Suspense, on the other hand, something like Summertime Render, which is an anime that is more recent that I've seen, where I can remember these suspenseful moments, not sure what's going to be in the beyond, or the first season of Promised Neverland, where you just have like such a fear of these people that are taking care of these kids. It is so suspenseful. Love that. Okay, we are going to put it behind the rest of them, but it is a +1. It's a solid +1 as well. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. So that actually concludes all of the genres. Okay, these are what my anime list dignify as the staple genres.
Congratulations.
Now we are going to get into the themes. Actually, before that, let's knock out the demographics, okay? Because I don't really want to save that for last. Demographics are kind of annoying to talk about. I don't think there's a lot of through points for demographics, to be honest. Even less so than like action, for instance. I think that you could have a shounen that could be any fucking genre, anything, or a josei, shounen, seinen, shoujo. Those are all of them, and kids. So first of all, let's do kids, because that's like the odd ones out, okay? Kids is a -1. Actually, I'm gonna put it in a -2. Yeah, I'm gonna put it at a -2 and also the worst one so far. Here's why. A new season of anime comes out, you're scrolling through it. What is the one that you always skip? It's the like Crayon-chan learning how to count type shit. That's what you're skipping. And you might say, oh, but Ghibli, what about Ponyo? What about Totoro? Yeah, I mean, there's exceptions for everything. But even those ones, it's like, yeah, if I watch something fun but not life-changing, something artful but not what I would normally seek out. Does that kind of make sense? I think that this is a very fair placement. Otherwise, let me know in the comments below. I don't know. Is there a kids show that you guys fuck with heavy? Let's start with shounen. Shounen definitely has ups and downs. I think that it is a lot more likely to hold your attention, a lot more likely to keep you interested for that like sort of hyper, let's move on to the next topic sort of thing. But I also think that shounen compared to something like shoujo tends to view the girl characters in a very different sort of demeaning way almost. I don't think they give a lot of the female characters a lot of character development. And this is definitely a generalization. I'm a lot more likely to see like a cleavage shot or like a panty shot in a shounen than a shoujo. I'm gonna put it in a +1. I'm gonna keep it behind award-winning. Shoujo is kind of like the same thing as slice of life. Like, this is what I want when I want like a comfort show. It's very soothing, and I feel like I'm on edge a lot of the times when I'm watching these other shows. With the shoujo, I just feel like none of the feelings are going to be like too weird. I think this is a good spot for it. I kind of just dropped it here. Yeah, I think that's good. I think it's fine. Next is the seinen and the josei. I'm gonna get this out of the way. I don't think I've seen a single josei anime. I'm not joking. I don't know how this fucking happened. I don't know if it's some sort of conspiracy. Okay, so here's what I'm gonna assume that it's kind of the same, but treats you more like an adult, which is something I like and which I'm gonna talk about when we talk about seinen in a second. Okay, I'm gonna actually put it at the top of 0 just because I haven't seen a single anime. I don't think. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. Seinen is something I actually really like. It ends up being the ones that treat you like you know what you're talking about. It's like the type, it's not going to give you a bunch of explanation about what they're doing, how they're doing it. I feel like it's a lot more meditative in a lot of senses. I'm going to put it at the above everything else, I think. Yeah, I think that's actually a good score. Okay, I'm going to get some water. while I was getting my water, I thought let's just knock out the weird ones really quick, okay? We have like the explicit category. We have ecchi, erotica, and first of all, I don't watch hentai. Except for that one time, okay? It was an accident. I didn't know. I just read this synopsis, and I read this one, and I was like, oh, okay, By Awakening. That's what I thought. By Awakening. God, I mean, I would love an anime about that. And I checked the rating because it sounded like a hentai. So I was like, okay, I checked the rating, and the rating said mild nudity. That was a bit of an understatement, to be frank. I thought it was a regular anime. I talked about it like it was a regular anime. You guys remember. Someone had to inform me eventually, and they did. They told me. This is the only one that I will straight up just not watch. Ecchi is also something that is just, it's worse than comedy, yeah. It's something that just gets in the way most of the time. I say most of the time because then I think about like something like Kill la Kill, and it's like they're using it in such like a fashionable, cool sort of way that's very, you know, it's like, do you guys know what I'm talking about? I don't know if that's fair. Sometimes it's just like, oh, here's plot, and then it's like, okay, there's just like a girl taking her fucking shirt off now. Okay, I guess so. Is this what we're watching it for, or are we watching it for the other thing? Like, that's kind of how it feels watching an ecchi. But there's one last category, okay? There's one last category. It's erotica. Here's the thing. If you're watching this, you know what you're in for. You know what you're expecting. It can't jump scare you to like keep it away from the other thing. With the hentai, it's just like there's no actual plot. It's just, you know, the stuff. This is like there's plot, but there's also some sexy stuff, you know, some of that stuff. So I would say it's definitely the best of the three, but it's still not something that I would seek out. I'll keep it at the bottom of plus or minus one. Yeah. Okay, what I'm thinking about with this one is Shumatsu no Harem. Okay, I scored it a 6 out of 10 last year, but it's just been stuck in my head. I want a second season for that. And if there's more anime like that out there, I want to watch it. Where it's actually got both aspects, story and the other stuff, you know? Bro, it's hot under these lights. God damn. All right, well, that concludes the awkward section. Just flat out the rest of the video, themes. But before, remember the sub thing, 307. By the end of this video in like a month, 614. Did I do the math right? Let me know in the comments below. You know. Okay. All right, the first one is adult cast. That is an easy +2. Love this. Can we get more of this? Please. That being said, not better than the rest of the +2s. Everything else is almost carried by their genre. Anthropomorphic. It's not something that draws me to an anime. It's also not something that deters me. I'm gonna put it in the middle of the zeros. Cute girls doing cute things. This one lives and dies by what they're doing for me, and also the writing, because there actually was this anime about rock climbing. Watched a little bit of it, got really bored. I'm gonna put it in as plus. I'm gonna put it in a +0, but I'm gonna put above gourmet. Childcare. Childcare is always something I feel like I want to watch and then I don't end up watching. Yakuza Daycare, which was an anime that came out a while ago. It was a seasonal one. I really wanted to watch it. It looked so fun, and then I just didn't get around to watching it. It's always something that like seems really fun, but I don't make time for. I'm gonna put it at the very bottom of +1 because it seems like something I would really like, but I haven't been able to experience it. Okay, combat sports. I don't give a fuck. It's kind of like combat sports in real life. I don't care. I don't think. Is there a combat sports anime I like? Yeah, okay. Hajime no Ippo and Megalobox or whatever were definitely ones that popped in my head. Kaijo, I forgot about that. I don't think there's much in this genre like specifically for me. It's not something I avoid though. I'm gonna put it at the end of 0. Yeah, I'm putting it at the end. Finally something to go at the end instead of gourmet finally getting pushed back. Crossdressing. This one has some implications that I don't love. Guys, I've talked about trans issues in like every one of my videos, okay? I don't think anime does it particularly well, but when they do actual cross-dressing for cross-dressing's sake, I like it. So for that reason, I'm gonna put it in a +1 instead of a +2. Yeah, it's more attractive. I would say I'd put it there. Yeah. Because if I see it on an anime tags, it definitely intrigues me quite a bit. Whether it's actually gonna be quality or not, I forgot that is something I really need to take more consideration for. I'm actually gonna put it, let's do it above. Yeah, there we go. That's good. When it actually comes down to the quality of the anime, I think it's very hit or miss. I think that they can do it really well in like the fun sort of cross-dressy way, and then they can just be like, oh, trans character, they're cross-dressing. Think Steins Gate, whatever. Okay, next is Delinquents. Delinquents, I think, breeds great anime. I think it just actually does. I would rather have a delinquent anime over an action anime, and it's kind of just a subgenre of the action anime. Right now, Windbreakers is coming out and it looks fantastic. Tokyo Revengers, I actually love that show so much, which not a lot of other people did. Delinquents is a very attractive genre and a fun, like, sort of Japanese subculture. Next, detective. This is why I sort of held off on talking completely about mystery, because the difference between mystery and detective is pretty great. Detective, while can technically mean that there's like a slice of life detective thing, something like Police in a Pod, I would say in most cases it is more so about the detective figuring shit out, getting to the bottom of a situation, doing their investigative practices, and I would rank that above mystery, and probably boys love as well. I think that's fair. Next is educational. This is a -2. I don't think I've ever watched an educational anime. Yeah, when I think of educational, I think of like a fast food place doing the trainings in anime style, or something like the Wendy's anime fucking training would be classified in that way. Okay, next is gag humor. I don't think I understand this. Gag humor, I think, is like the visual humor that I was just saying earlier that I really liked. But whenever I look it up, it's like those fucking stupid anime faces that I fucking hate so much. It's like, that's not comedy. That's just like stupid. I don't even know. But it seems like a lot of the anime... Okay, I don't really understand it. And I don't think that a lot of anime does comedy super well. I'm going to put it slightly above the other comedy. But with the very exaggerated asterisks, this actually might be in the pluses, but I just don't understand. I just don't understand what gag humor is, which seems stupid. I should know that. And I've read the fucking gag humor thing. Okay, it doesn't have it here, but yeah, like when I think of funny anime, it's like there's Prison School, there's Nichijou. I forget what this anime is called, but everybody says I would love it. Daily Life of High School Boys, and then Sakamoto. Like, these are the good comedy anime. So I don't know. A big asterisk with that. But let's move on. Gore. Gore is something that when it's delved too deep into and has too much of an emphasis on, it becomes super corny. But when done well, I think like Chainsaw Man, it is so good and makes the anime feel like such a level of like heightened realism, if that makes sense. But on the other hand, when they go too far, it does the exact opposite. It makes it so unrealistic and just takes you completely out of the anime experience. I'm gonna put it in a +1. I'm not sure where in the +1 I would put it. I would put it... I think that's fine. That's fair. All right, is this harem or reverse harem? Let's just do them back to back. Yeah, this is harem. It's pretty rare that you find a good harem, but it's kind of like a guilty pleasure. It ends up being so trashy every time. So like lifeless with these like female characters and like super unrealistic, if that makes sense. But then you get like this small diamond in the roughs like quintuplets. I think quintuplets is fantastic. It's not even really trashy. It's kind of like the wholesome harem somehow. I don't know how that happens, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with a -1. All right, next is high stakes games. Let's just go ahead and put that up there. I don't know where, but it's gonna be top 3 for sure. High stakes games, yeah, I think that's a good spot for it. These are always so engaging for me. Every single time I see one of these anime, I watch it. Every single time I see it on that seasonal thing, I end up watching it. Only a few times do I feel like it's really let me down, but when it doesn't, it produces some of the best anime that I have. This is such like a Shiroberry pick. It's very Danganronpa, you know? Like people in my Smash scene kind of know me as the Danganronpa guy, and now I don't. It's me. That's how it is. That's just how it be. I'm just gonna keep it how it is right there. Historical. Historical is almost always a negative. It's definitely something you have to fight for. I think that's a good spot for it. Actually, does historical even mean... When I think historical, I just think old sort of style. Yeah. So it's just like old style sort of Japanese. I think for me, you have to fight for it to be good. Dororo is a good example of that. Samurai Champloo. But then you have anime like Jorin or whatever you call this, which is one of my few 1 out of 10 animes. Or Avenger, which I thought was going to be really good, but ended up being dog shit. I don't think it's the best setting. Yeah, like I said earlier, it's kind of just like everyday modern stuff is kind of just the perfect setting for me. Everything else kind of just works less good. All right, idols, female and male. I think they're probably going to get the same rating of -1. Yeah, with the male idols probably above. It's just not really something that's for me. I think a lot of the times when I'm looking for anime and I see like an idol show, it's usually a show that's so established and has been going on for like 70 seasons. I feel like it's pretty rare to find something that's like new and an idol show besides like Oshinoko, but that's like such a fucking random chance occurrence. I just don't think there's much going on here. Also, I think sci-fi is better. I think erotica's better. I think harem's better. Should this go in a minus? Should it go? No, it's fine where it is. Okay, I was like, should I put in a -2? Oh, do you guys like this icon? Okay, next one is isekai. You guys like this icon? It's so stupid. Isekai was the last icon I made for this thing, and I just could not think of how to represent like going to a new world. Okay, isekai is an anime. It's a huge downside. I'm just gonna be honest. It's a below. Oh, this should not be there. That's how that should be. Isekai has to fight hard for me to care at all. It just has to fight so hard. It has become such an oversaturated shithole. There's like 12 fucking new anime a season about some nerd dying and then fucking going into a fantasy world where he's like so skinny and handsome and every girl wants to bang him. It's just so, it is repetitive, it is heartless, it is soulless, it is such a cash grab and incredibly uninteresting. But sometimes you get a ReZero, sometimes you get a jobless reincarnation, sometimes you get stuff like that. Also, Inuyasha, it's not just the like fantasy new worlds, it is any sort of place where you are transported into a different world. Digimon technically counts as an isekai. All right, next one, I don't actually know how to say. Let's see, let me try it. All right, I'm gonna try saying this. Iyashikei. This is just like the soul cleansing, happy show. I think of it kind of in the same vein as cute girls doing cute things, but the inherent value is probably slightly higher just because it's so wholesome, I guess. I don't have much else to say about that. Let's get on to the next one. Love pentagons. So in order to do a love pentagon really well, you have to have good character development, and you have to have a lot of good character development, in my opinion. Otherwise, it doesn't actually really work out. For that reason, I'm actually putting this in a +2. And I also think I'm going to put it pretty high in the +2. Does it go higher than that? Does it go higher? Does it beat out Detective? No, it doesn't. Still top 5 so far though. Yeah, I really fucking like this. This is like one of my favorite sort of romance subgenres. I would just like a convoluted mess of so many people and so many feelings and so much heartbreak when one person gets with the other or makes moves. I love that. It's so dramatic. Like, yeah, I got drama up here. Like I fuck with the drama, bro. It is like drama and romance had like a nice little themed baby. All right, magical sex shift. This is not something I seek out. Yeah, it's not something I seek out. However, there was that one time. Let's not talk about that. Let's get past it. Let's get past it though. Okay, jeez. You guys fucking love to hang on to shit, bro. You gotta go to therapy. You, not me. No, not me. You. Okay. Next is magical girls. Magical girl anime is not something I've really delved into super heavily, but always something I'm super interested in. Cardcapture Sakura, does that count? I'm sure it does. Princess Tutu, and I think there was another one. There was 3 that I really wanted to watch, like super badly. They just have such a commitment, such a like an episode commitment that I couldn't go through with it. And then there's obviously Madoka Magica, which is just like an all-time classic. I will say there was this one anime I tried getting into. I think it was called like Blue Foundation. No. If I remember it, I'll put it on screen right here. But it was like the first time where I was like, this is so boring, I have to drop it. That being said, I still think that it's a +1, just kind of like the childcare one, not something I've super delved into. I think that's a good place for it, just right above childcare in the +1. All right, this one is martial arts. Martial arts, like combat sports, I don't actually care that much about, or really at all. I'll put it slightly above based off of absolutely nothing. They're probably exactly tied. Mecha is another one. Haven't really delved into too much. I gotta stop saying that. People are gonna think I'm a fake. Mecha is not really something that I care that much about. I don't really love the big robots. I don't really love the piloting aspect. It's usually a side piece for something that is usually a bit more political, usually a bit more like action heavy. That being said, I don't think there's a political genre. That seems weird. I feel like there should be. Probably at the very top of zero. I don't think there's like a lot going on for me in that genre. Sort of an added benefit. Medical. Can't think of a single medical anime. I'm gonna have to put it somewhere in here. Military. +1 in the chat? +1 in the chat? What are you guys thinking? +1 in the chat for military? Oh, okay. You know what? Here's where things are different for the military stuff. It is a war. There is a war. There's many characters that are having to sacrifice to this war. Usually sort of demands heavy world building as well as like multiple characters getting their development time. For that reason, I will definitely put it higher. Let me see. Probably put it above. Looks like I'm pointing at the delinquent now. I don't like that. I like action and delinquents kind of staying together like that. Yeah, see, okay, I'm gonna keep it like this. When I see military on the tags, it doesn't immediately drive me to it. However, delinquents does, even if it is just for those style points. All right, next is music. I don't care. Okay, I do care. Like I said a million times, anime about art has a place in my heart. Music is probably on the lower end. Actually, it's probably in the middle, but it's definitely still a +1. I would put it above these ones. I think that's a fair point between suspense and cross-dressing. These are such random fucking genres back to back to back. Actually, while we're talking about art, let's get the rest of the art ones out of the way. Performing art is the only art one that I don't think I actually have very much of an interest in. I would actually rank it probably down here with the medical, the gourmet, the stuff that I haven't really delved into, but I just don't think. I would love to be proven wrong. If you guys have some recs for me on this genre, feel free to deliver them. But it just doesn't feel like I'm gonna get that same sort of feeling that I do from most art sort of anime, where they really feel like they're expressing themselves and like going out of their comfort zone and like learning these new ways to express themselves. Basically. The last one is visual art. Visual art is my favorite. It is the one that like makes me feel the most. Yeah, we'll put it. I think it's actually going up here. Yeah, it is. Visual art is going in the +2. This is something that if I see something has visual art as one of the themes, I will watch it for the sole reason that it is there. There's just such a feeling that is unforgettable about the Izuken Blue Period, where they're just unlocking this new side of themselves, this new way to express themselves. So beautiful, and always makes me like tear up, always makes me like so nostalgic for me growing up being an artist and doing art shit. And it's just so, it's like such a nice way to watch characters grow. Next is mythology. Pretty neutral. Don't have much to say, to be honest. Pretty neutral. Usually carried by the other aspects of the show. Organized crime. Wait, Black Lagoon is about organized crime? What is Black Lagoon about? I thought they were like warriors, like in like a war or some shit. Oh, okay. Whoa, that looks like that looks good. Okay. I think organized crime can be done really well. 91 Days is one of the most slept on anime in my opinion. And then also that JoJo's part. Just having a gang of criminals is a fun concept. I'm gonna put this with Delinquents. Probably behind Delinquents though. And then also, I'm gonna move cross-dressing down. I think that's probably better a place for it. I think that's probably a better place. Otaku culture. When I think of like anime that has to do with otaku culture, I only think of Lucky Star, where like that main girl is like a weeaboo, or like I guess an otaku, I guess you have to say it like that. This is not something I care about. I'm gonna be honest. This is not something I care. Actually, it might even be a -1. Oh, but then yeah, it's a -1. It is a -1. There's definitely some standouts in this genre, but I think that generally when you try to show the otaku culture, the bad parts end up coming out very exaggerated. It's pretty annoying. It's not something that I super enjoy. I could see other people enjoying this, and it's not something I think is like inherently bad. I just don't like it. Is that fair? I think that's fair. Jester. What's the jester? Oh, parody. Parody, I feel like with anime more so than not, it ends up just like parodying itself. But I also like an anime that is sort of making fun of things, I guess. I think I could definitely see a positive light for this and also a negative light. Does that mean it's a 0? Actually, I'm leaning towards 0 or -1, and I'm just gonna go 0 to be nice to everybody. I'm gonna do 0 but above medical, just because I don't really get the medical thing. I don't really get that. I don't really get the medical thing. Do you guys know what that's about? Who put that in there over the political subtag? That's weird. Or not subtag, fucking theme. Pets. Pets. See, I can't think of an anime with pets. This keeps fucking happening. No, see, that's the thing. I just don't care. Oh man, am I gonna put it this low? I think I am. I think it's a -2. How could you make any conflict, any interest? Makes no sense. Just a -2. Oh, so okay, next is psychological. Psychological, this is a +2. I like an anime that sort of messes around with the mind, whether it is the viewer's mind or the characters in the anime's mind. I explained it as like mental masturbation once, where there's like this whole anime trope where it's like, aha, but I knew you would do this, so I did this, and then I did that because I knew you would do this. Or you could do like anything from that one Caleb City sketch, you know? So I think that there's situations where this is not done super well, but for the most part, I just like the attempt. I'm gonna put it above these other ones in the +2. Yeah. I think that's good. Yeah. Racing. So I put the car on here. I think that it could be any sort of racing though. And like I said, but with the sports thing, I like that sort of built-in level of competition, but it's sort of like compacting it into like a smaller sub-region that I don't think I care as much as other sports. I'm gonna leave it at the end of the +1s. Reincarnation. This is my favorite of the icons. It's so funny. It's so funny. Reincarnations are not fun. I don't like them. It is another one that I think you have to work hard for. And it's very tied to isekai in my head. I'm gonna keep it with it, but slightly ahead, maybe slightly behind. I think I'm putting it above just because I like the icon, but I don't think it's good. Okay, reverse harems. Even if it is trashy, still feels like a tasteful sort of trashy. Do you guys understand what I'm saying with that? Maybe not. I hope you do. Let's do that. I think that's good. Let's not judge me too hard, guys. Come on, chill out. Okay? I see the comment you're writing. Okay, chill, bro, chill. Romantic subtext. This is probably the stupidest theme I have ever fucking heard in my life, but after doing some research, I at least understand it now. Okay? Romantic subtext is where there is a romantic connection between characters, but they are not able to act on those feelings. Two anime that sort of show the broadness of this theme is Your Name. These two characters seem very into each other. They sort of have a romance between time zones, but they don't ever have that moment of connection with each other in the real life. Once they finally... That's spoilers. But they don't ever have a connection. And then Kaguya-sama. This anime, everybody knows that they're into each other, and the whole gimmick of the show is that they won't do anything about it. First of all, a confusing theme. It's getting docked points for that. Second of all, doesn't feel like it needs to exist, to be completely honest. Now let's think about how I actually feel about it though. With a romance, I like the romance to sort of jump into the deep end. I like it to give us something. So if it's a romance, it should just get to the fucking point, you know? I think that this is actually generally a pretty bad, but it's not something that makes me drive away from it. I'm gonna put it in a -1. I'm not sure where in the -1 though. I think that's a good spot. Samurai. Samurai goes with the historical thing. It's like old Japanese sort of stuff. It has built-in action though. Samurai is gonna do samurai shit. So I'm gonna put it with historical. I'm gonna just put it just one spot above it though. School. School's fine. It's a it's just like, it's fine. I would definitely prefer the school setting to sci-fi, historical, fucking fantasy, all of that. But it's still just, it's fine. It's okay. Showbiz. It's not something I really care about either. I'm gonna put it over there. Actually, I'm gonna put it right over here. It's a lot about the process of making shows, basically, whether it be anime, live action, acting, shit like that. Idol stuff, I'm sure, has some showbiz aspects to it. Just not something that like super engages me. It's probably with the performing arts. I'm open to the idea of it. Space. Where is sci-fi? So it's going to go right by it, below it though, because space gives me this sort of like the world could end at any moment sort of feeling. Do you guys ever get that? In science class, in school, did you guys ever have that feeling where like you were learning about like the solar system and you were like, wow, this fucking sucks. Like, we do not matter at all. Isn't that fucking terrible? That's how I feel. Existential. There's like an existential dread that comes with anything having to do with space for me. I don't know. Is that just me? I don't know. It's a distracting feeling though. It's just so cold and empty up there. I don't like it. I'm gonna put it lower now that I've talked myself into it a little bit more. I'm gonna put it down here. Still in -1 though. Strategy game. Strategy game sort of combines elements of sports anime and psychological anime. For some reason, I feel like not as well as either of them though. Like, I think that it's kind of like combining to make a worse product. It's not inherently bad. I still think it's like a plus and a pretty solid plus. I'm actually going to put it right behind sports. But yeah, something I think that I like, but just not as much as some of the other like competitive sort of things. It's harder to translate that into an anime compared to like soccer or basketball or something. Very hands-on, physical, points are obvious, stuff like that. Superpower. I think My Hero Academia, and I like My Hero Academia. Is there another superpower? I guess One Punch Man. Those are two anime that I like, I guess. I don't know, +1. That's a good spot for it. Survival. So the idea of a survival anime is very intriguing to me, and I'm sure I've seen a couple. Okay, yeah. So this is actually, okay, there it is. I was gonna say, so this is actually kind of Danganronpa-esque. It's like, just survive. Y'all know I fuck with that shit. Y'all know I fuck with it. There's Platinum End. You guys know my unpopular opinions about Platinum End. Gantz as well. Yeah, no, actually, this is gonna go pretty high, I think. Survival. Yeah, I think that like when you sort of put this pressure on the actual life of your characters, and especially when you actually care enough to kill some of them off, it is so engaging. It keeps you just like in the grasp of the anime's plot so fucking well. It is like a cheat code. I'm gonna do a little bit of switching around. I think that's good. I think that's solid. Team sports. I like team sports. I would put it with sports. I would say sports anime usually thrive better in these team aspects. Time travel. I haven't seen a lot of time travel anime. It seems like a fun topic though. I'll put it right there. I think that's a good spot for it. Vampire. You guys. It's me. Do you see that? It's Shiroberry. Hit subscribe now. Okay. I love vampires. You guys know this. Sometimes I get baited into a terrible anime because it has vampires in it, but you just can't knock how much vampires are fucking awesome. I love it. That's a good S tier. +2 tier, I guess. +2, guys. Guys, it's +2. It's +2. Don't tell anybody it's +2. It's not S tier. Games. I don't give a fuck about games, dude. I don't give a fuck about games. You should, editing tip, flash all of the videos I made about games over the screen. In anime, I don't think that it translates very well. I'm gonna put it in a -2. I'm gonna go fucking hog wild and put it in a -2. Worse than pets. Yeah, for sure. Workplace. Where is school? I'll put it right next to school. There it is. There's the whole list. The entire Shiroberry ranking of things. Does the video end now?